On my way up to Scotland, a couple of months ago now, I drove past a car park that had a car in it with a registration that I think I recognised. If it's right, it's a registration that means a lot to me. I think that my first ever car is sitting, seemingly abandoned, in a military barracks car park. So, time to hop into the Discovery, head down the road and see if that is the case. Okay, so I have located it. I've driven past the car park and it is in there, but there are some very, very scary signs. It's not in the barracks, it's outside the barracks, but it says MOD property, Ministry of Defence, guard dogs on patrol. I think I'm going to have to go and check with the guardhouse before I walk in there, because I do not want to get into trouble just to film a little hatchback. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'm allowed in. If not, we might need to just film it from the outside. That'll be a bit disappointing, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so the barracks is just over the road, and then here it is. I've been granted permission kindly by the guardhouse to come and take some pictures. And it is fantastic to see my old MGZR. I say MGZR, I'll get to that story. SG51HEU. There it is. This, ladies and gentlemen, was my first ever car. So, it is a Rover 25, officially. And the first thing I did when I bought it was start changing all the bits to MG. So it's got the MG spoiler on it, it's got the MG tailgate, MG bumper, side strips, it's got the MG alloys on it, and sadly it looks like it has sat here for quite a while. Now my dad has been driving past this barracks for quite a few years now, and he's seen it here and it hasn't moved an inch. He reckons in the last 5 or 6 years this car has not moved. So I wonder what's going on with it. Tyre completely flat. I wonder, because it's sat at a barracks, it might belong to a soldier and he's maybe on a tour of duty. But how long is a tour of duty? 5 or 6 years seems quite long. Let's see what state the tyres are in. Oh wow. That has been getting ragged. Poor little car. Rusty arches. I had some great times in this car. Also had the MG leather seats that the Rover never came with, it was cloth. It is a cool car. You can see it's slightly sun damaged as well. Bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame really, isn't it? A piece of my history is just kind of left abandoned. I don't know whether I should put a note and ask if I can buy it back. It definitely hasn't moved for, I would say, a couple of years. And it's just not in great shape. Probably wouldn't get through an MOT. You can actually see the Rover steering wheel is still on it. The person that owns it now has made a couple of mods. There's a couple of interior bits that have changed. But yeah, still some Rover remnants from its time. There's a first car, I loved it. But yeah. Bit of a shame. Thanks for the MOD for letting me come and film here. But yeah, bit sad really. Well then, that was a bit bittersweet really. It's great seeing your first car again like that, but to see it in that shape is really quite sad. And you know, the love story happy ending would be that I leave a note, the guy gets in touch and we end up rescuing the car. But looking at it, all 4 arches are buggered. The car looks like it hasn't ran for possibly 5 or 6 years, which means the engine's probably done in. It has had its head gasket done though, so the one trait of the Rover K series has been sorted, but I imagine the rest of the car is just gone. The brakes were completely rusted. They're not going to do anything. They would all need replaced. The car would need probably 2-3 grand spent on it to get it a properly good roadworthy car. Seeing my MG Rover again, it reminds me of coming across an old friend from school. Say you were best mates at school and then you went your separate ways and you meet up with them or just simply come across them 5 or 6 years later and they've kind of wasted away and not done very much with their life. It's great to see them again and reminisce, but at the same time it's a wee bit sad and you kind of want to help them out. So honestly, I don't really know what to do. It is not worth it getting that car back and sorting it out. And obviously I've got the Mondeo project now and there's another project on the horizon. So it doesn't really make too much sense to put any effort into this, despite me having proper history with the car. You never know, it might still be here in say another 4 years time, so that would be a whole decade of it sitting in that car park. And we might have room to properly do something on it on Drive Tribe, who knows. Maybe I should have asked the guard if he knew who owned it, so I could get some sort of backstory. But maybe it's a tragic one. If he's a soldier and the car's been sat there for that long, who knows? But they wouldn't have just left the car there. Anyway, I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever had a similar experience to this? Have you ever come across an old car of yours completely by chance? You've just been driving, you've seen a car, oh I used to own one of them, and then you see the reg and it was yours. It would be great to hear your stories and whether you acted upon it. Maybe some of you guys have bought back your first car. Because I feel like when car media and journalists are asked what's the car you most regret selling, a lot of them say their first car. And a few of them have thought ahead and kept their first car. I wasn't that clever, / I wanted an Alfa Romeo with GTV, which I got, which was a lovely car. So that's another side of it. You do have these cars, but they do have to give way to make room for you to kind of grow as a petrol head. I went Alfa GTV, Mazda MX-5 and now Mondeo ST200 after that car. And also, while you're telling me your stories, tell me what I should do with it. I know the default thing is, oh, buy it back and completely restore it, but maybe the smarter thing to do is just to leave it alone. And it's kind of, again, it's bittersweet that it's this close to my family home. It means every time I come home, I'm just a very quick drive away from my first car. So that's heartwarming, but also knowing the state it's in, it's a bit heartbreaking. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I need to get home, it is bloody freezing. I've been Mike, and I'll see you again next time.